Well, the wise Governor Gavin Newsom's promise to Trump-proof California law may have met its first test. Trump is vowing to eliminate the $7,500 federal EV tax credit passed under the Biden administration. So Newsom is vowing to make California taxpayers pick up the bill instead, saying in a statement, quote, "We will intervene if the Trump administration eliminates the federal tax credit, doubling down on our commitment to clean air and green jobs in California. We're not turning back on a clean transportation future. We're going to make it more affordable for people to drive vehicles that don't pollute." But not all EVs apparently will make the cut. The California version of the tax credit is reportedly expected to exclude Elon Musk's Tesla vehicles. And people are scratching their heads wondering how California can even afford Newsom's plan. The state is facing a $2 billion budget deficit. Just a few days ago, the state's nonpartisan Legislative Analyst Office warned it, quote, does not have capacity for new commitments. Dagan, I think a good euphemism for, bro, we cannot afford your ridiculous ideas.
Gavin Newsom's clearly running for president,
Yes.
and he somehow thinks it's a smart idea to pick on Elon Musk. When Ro Khanna on X said this, Tesla makes over 550,000 vehicles in Fremont, in my district, and employs over 20,000 people. Let's not play politics with keeping manufacturing in California. It would be foolish to exclude Tesla. Have we learned nothing from snubbing Elon Musk at the Biden EV summit? In terms of electric vehicles, California in a decade is going to ban the sale of all new gasoline-powered automobiles. So all electric. They have to import their electricity into the state. California imports more electricity than any other state. Between 1/5 and 1/3 of its electricity supply has to come from outside of California. All Gavin Newsom can do a year ago went to China to drive a BYD electric vehicle and said, look, who needs a car when you can have a car and a boat? Like some low-rent Ron Popeil. That's Gavin Newsom.
And, Doctor, I mean, literally right now, Donner Pass is flooded with snow. It's one of the coldest Decembers on record. So how does he think the good people of California are going to take their electric vehicles through the snow? I mean, he doesn't account for the transition, but that's the whole point, that it's virtue signaling. It's not an actual intelligent plan.
Bingo, it's politics. It's not reality. Now, I will give a little bit of a nod to Los Angeles. Somehow, over the last 30 years, you can actually see down the street, but that is not due to Gavin Newsom. And when it comes to electric vehicles, look at this, Emily. Only 20% of those buying electric vehicles even qualify for this $7,500 rebate. That's number one. Number two, everybody figured out in the last month that they should lease their vehicle. Because if you lease your vehicle, then you don't have to buy a vehicle that's purely made in the United States. You can get around that. So 79% of owners are now leasing instead of buying. How's that actually helping the environment? And of course, here, this is personal. This is personal. This is Newsom versus Musk, and that is not where we should be.
As one of the Californians that fled, it's hard to picture a governor that claims to have everyone's well-being and well interests in mind when the reality is, because of him, the state has absolutely fallen on a cliff. And his running for president with these empty campaign promises, I mean, everyone sees through it. Californians are suffering right now under this person's watch. Why does he keep doing this, Leslie?
Oh, this isn't going to be suffering. I want to answer the question for the people in my own government who don't know how to pick up the phone, which I did. Here is where the rebates for the EV buyers come from. It comes from, which the people of California wanted, the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. That fund is fully funded. It expires in a couple of months, so the money is already there. So saying that it's going to be the taxpayers or we don't have the money for this one. I don't feel that a state that has the 6th largest economy in the world is hurting. And that is not, yes, there are people that say that they're hurting, and honestly, in every state, right? When people, go into the supermarket and, they see the price of eggs going up, even if that can't be and shouldn't be blamed on a president, or a governor, that, that's what they're feeling. And I always say when it comes to numbers, it's facts versus feelings. Just last thing I want to say is, Governor Newsom's even getting attacked for saying, look, federal government doesn't want to give you a rebate. We will here in the state.
But, Kaylee, the state is $2 billion in debt, and the nonpartisan legislative analyst in the comptroller's office said specifically, we actually can't afford this. So those are the facts against the landscape that Governor Newsom is combing his hair and running for office.
I mean, I love you, Leslie, but the only statement I agree
love you,
with...
Bob. You know, Butt the Gates, as you said before.
But the only statement I agree with that you said is I agree with facts, not feelings, and I believe in numbers. I do, too. And the National Association of Realtors found that 87,000 professionals left the state of California in the last 3 months. That's according to the Washington Examiner. They did a fantastic report on this. And where did they leave for? Texas and Arizona.
Can you please, because we like facts, can you please look at how many people
Let me add more facts to that. Washington Examiner. The carbon fuel standards in California, I hope you guys like it out there because it's going to cost you $1,000 more a year in taxes. That's the great state of California. And if this is so popular, EV mandates, then why did Kamala Harris's team put out a fact check and say she is not for EV mandates? She distanced herself. She ran like a crazy person away from it because it was unpopular in the election. And yet she still lost. So Gavin Newsom, I guess take a page from Kamala. She didn't win, but at least she had the courage to run away from EV mandates.
And the smog went away in L.A. because of catalytic converters.
That's true. I was going to say that. And by the way, you didn't even mention housing and homeless problems in California. Where were the homeless encampments?
And smog checks. Smog checks, Senator.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.